Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is TNT Podcast, and welcome to the Timpedia.
My name is Tim Taru, the Tim Podcast.
Chimney.
Yeah, man, what a freaking opening.
Yeah. So we're back with the podcast. Whatever the name of this podcast is, it's on screen right now. I'm just gonna go with the classic. We'll fix it in post. It's on screen right now.
Yeah, episode number. It's in the video title. Don't worry about it.
It's in the video title. Don't worry about thinking about what that is. We are back, and we have the full crew, not just the full crew this time. On my right,
Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left,
just Tyler.
And returning after his long hiatus.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Aiden. Recently crawled out of my Linux hole. I'm allowed to go outside again.
It's nice, right?
See the sunshine.
I was gonna say touch grass, but you touched the penguin, so.
Yeah, literally
using Linux.
Speaking
touching penguin. Yeah.
Oh no!
Speaking. Hold on. No, I won't let this transition get away from me. Speaking of touching grass.
Time to talk about Pokemon.
What?
I'm not sure where he's going with this transition.
What kind of fucking transition?
So I was
what?
So on Reddit today there was a meme about it was everyone pointing at grass. It was some meme about a bunch of characters pointing at one character, and someone had labeled them all different types that are super effective against grass types. So,
all of them. Grass is the worst type.
But also, we were talking in the chat yesterday about the bikes in Pokemon and versus the cars in the other regions. Remember the meme I shared? The Ash on the bike versus the people in the
versus everyone else's new cool shit.
Who's driving cars, and it's
yeah. It took me. Anyway, let's not talk about memes we put in our side chat. Let's talk about
the trailer for a Pokemon game came out.
More importantly, Nintendo did their usual, hey guys, in 48 hours, we're going to have a random 20-minute video presentation at 9 a.m. Get excited. And for anyone who's not aware, Pokemon, oh my god, Scarlet and Violet, I forgot what they were called for a second. They're coming out in November, so we're rapidly approaching. We've only had one full trailer before now. And they do their usual thing where it's let's put a really, air quotes, really hype 2-minute trailer first, and then that 15-minute thing where we just have someone narrate talking about gameplay features. And once again, I wish someone from Game Freak understood that you can't treat your hype trailer like a PowerPoint presentation, because they did it again. They tried to get everyone really excited, but they very awkwardly took text and they cut out characters from the background and inserted text between the characters in the background to make it look like it was very flashy, dynamic text. But it was the exact text that was being read out loud. So all this amounts to is just very fancy subtitles as they start announcing more features for the game. The first one that I thought was really cool at first was they brought back the whole riding a legendary Pokemon mechanic from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. For anyone who didn't play that or doesn't remember, in addition to fly, you could at any time, once you got 3/4 of the game, call Latios or Latias and fly them around the region as your just mode of travel. Super cool. And they showed it off again with the new legendaries for this game. And they made it seem like you're going to get this stupidly early because this is replacing the bike. And a lot of people are just whoa, we're getting the legendary that early, this kind of hand-holding again. And I was like, all right, whatever. They really want to give you the box legendary right off the bat. Go do it, whatever. But here's the part that bothers me. When the first trailer dropped, there was this very clear design difference between the two legendaries. One had a wheel on its chest, and the other one had jets for legs. And it was very clear they're doing one version's the past, one version's the future theming here. So they show off the two Pokemon as your riding buddy. And I'm thinking, okay, well, the one with the wheel, you probably ride the wheel. And the one that hovers probably hovers. Makes sense, right? So the one that hovers creates a wheel and rides on its wheel. And the one that has
are we talking about this?
And the one that has the wheel on its chest runs on 4 legs. I don't understand.
Bro, it's subverting expectations.
In the absolutely wrong way.
Yeah, as in you thought you were going to maybe get a good Pokemon game, instead it's going to be a shit Pokemon game.
They're all shit games.
This seems like they went and they took what they were trying to do with Sword and Shield, and this is the refined version of Sword and Shield. That said, it still looks like as bad as Sword and Shield does.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not really impressed with this. They did improve a couple things, like they took a lot out of what they did with the DLC, and now the whole multiplayer in the open world is front and center. They've like loosely confirmed that you can challenge gym leaders in any order, making this a truly open world pick your own adventure game. But then there's a lot of internal leaks saying that the gym leaders are still fixed level. So like even though you can challenge the 8th gym leader first, you're not getting there very fast because they're going to be way too high level. So I don't know how they're executing this. The biggest takeaway from this, at least from the competitive Pokemon community, because this mechanic's going to get banned immediately, is in the same way they had Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, where you could have one of your Pokemon become mega huge and strong, and it replaced the Z moves and Mega Evolution from previous generations. The new generation's gimmick is you give your Pokemon this like crystal hat looking thing, and then they transform into a crystal version, and then they get an additional type where they get the same type attack bonus. But it's sort of like the move Hidden Power, where it's a completely random stat. And now no one knows how to balance this.
What?
So it may end up getting banned in Smogon, because otherwise it means that every single Pokemon has like there's like 19 types or something. 18 potential random combos for when they use this particular transformation mechanic, and it's just way too many permutations. Competitive community's probably gonna ban this. This just feels like we want to take the exact same mechanic from last time and just give it a new visual gimmick, is how it feels. Very on brand for Pokemon at this point. I'm trying to think if there's any other big takeaways. Oh, yeah. Wooper has a regional variant, and now it's brown. I am constantly resisting the urge to call this thing Pooper. That is all.
Well,
That's
it's
all I
too
had to say
late.
about
Now you're gonna
Pokemon.
call it Pooper for the rest of your life.
It's
now.
all I can think of. I see pictures, I'm like, Pooper.
That's it. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Now you fucked up.
But yeah, that's it. I was, for like a split second, I was like, maybe this would be more fun than Sword and Shield. And then after watching like the full breakdown and realizing like it's literally just repackaged Sword and Shield, I'm like, no, this isn't actually going to be an improvement. So if you like Sword and Shield, you might like this. If you thought Sword and Shield was disappointment, I might have some bad news for you.
So, the biggest mistake that Pokemon has certainly made recently, or over the last 10 years, I guess, is that instead of like building upon the foundation that they have, they went the WoW route, and it seems like every game is just going to constantly be a new gimmick, and then we're just going to throw that idea out, and we're going to do another new gimmick. And that is such a bad way to design games.
It was after Z moves into Dynamaxing, they were like, yeah, not every gimmick is going to make it from gen to gen. Moving looks fresh. And I'm like, that's BS. You're making the new stuff artificially cool because there's no alternative.
Yeah, if Pokemon is ever going to be good again, they need to work on improving the already existing foundation rather than tacking on these half-baked like gimmicks or like transformations or moves and stuff.
Actually,
they just need to improve Pokemon.
So I need to give an actual hot take. I don't know if anyone's talking about this, but this is like after playing a couple Pokemon ROM hacks and then attempting to play real Sword and Shield again with my friend, I noticed a giant flaw with Pokemon that I don't know if Pokemon fans complain about this enough. I don't know if they complain about this enough, but the combat engine is so slow for the modern era. When I throw out a Pokemon, there's my animation for throwing mine out, the animation for the opponent. I pick a move. My Pokemon says it's going to use its move. It uses the move. The full health bar has to finish moving. Then it tells me if it's super effective or not. And then the next person goes. And then with weather effects, if it's currently fucking sandstorming, my Pokemon gets the hit animation. My opponents gets the hit animation. My health bar goes down. Their health bar goes down. The text tells me what just happens, and then the move starts. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why is this all not happening at the exact same time? Why aren't both of our health bars and both our Pokemon reacting the second the text says the sandstorm is plummeting them? Like, we're at the point the Switch can handle two actions at once.
Are you sure?
Me and Tyler at the same time.
Yeah, you know.
Given that all the Pokemon's doing their idle animations at the same time, I don't understand why they couldn't do their hit animations at the same time.
Well, yeah, because that's max RAM, dude.
I mean, when you see 2v2 battles.
Do you want to know what the actual answer is?
It makes no additional money to revamp the combat system. I'm aware.
The combat system was designed by Satoru Iwata, and he's dead, and nobody knows how it works.
It's
Damn.
still using that weird assembly code from Game Boy, and they just don't know how to debug
Bro,
it.
they have no idea what the fuck to do with it.
They have no idea. They're like, they don't know. They don't
Bro.
know.
Like, I mean, there really is no excuse. There really is no excuse for it. Like, just it can't be that hard.
But like, it's at the point where it's too slow for me to actually play a real Pokemon game. Like playing a lot of ROM hacks where you can just turn on super speed to get past the long grindy shit. I'm like, why is this not better? Like, so many people loved Arceus because now I don't know if the combat system was that much different, but everyone was talking about how it was more active and you're more involved. And I feel like if you still want to do that in turn based, all you do is just like speed up how the turn works. Like all active time battle did for Final Fantasy was it took your turn based and said you don't have infinity time to pick your moves. You got to go fast because the turn's still going. And I feel like, in my opinion, Pokemon needs that for the combat to be bearable in single player for me anymore.
Nah,
like, despite
man.
all the other nonsense.
Babu's gotta
So,
be,
here's my hot take. I think they should just throw out the entire combat system at this point. And what they should replace it with is the Pokken tournament 3D fights.
I thought you were gonna make a Pokemon Go joke. We went the opposite direction.
Absolutely not, dude. I want like real time Pokemon battles. We need to get to like they need to progress the franchise forward into like what the show was.
Honestly, I think at this point, like it's almost worse to keep talking about it because we all know deep down that Pokemon will never change. Because
the franchise
is
the
only reason we're spitballing this because we know.
No, I know, but it like I feel like that's something that sadly has to be said every time because it's like, yeah, but the new Pokemon games sold more copies and made more money than any Pokemon game previously.
It physically hurts to read these.
Well, all right, here. This is my last word on this. All right. Temtem 1.0 launches September 6th.
So, Aiden, I actually was going to bring that up before, and I was like, nah, I'm going to let it sit until Aiden brings it up. But I like, is Temtem going to be the savior of the Pokemon genre?
Is it going to be the savior of the genre? I don't know about that. It is a more entertaining Pokemon game than the Pokemon games we've gotten, I'll tell you that. And there it is. September 6th, ladies and gentlemen. Go get your Temtem.
Go get your Temtem, everybody. On God. Get it right now. Fuck it.
Yeah, true. It is like already
right
out.
Now.
You can't just buy it right now.
You're just getting a content update for free.
Yeah. The fuck?
Alright, let's move on from this Japanese monstrosity into something else.
What the fuck? We're on season 5 of Cobra Kai already?
Yes,
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Let's go. I didn't know that this was even coming out so soon. Also, why is it formatting?
We did the last season pretty recently.
We did. Like at the start of the year. Man, why can't shows be like Cobra Kai and just release on a normal fucking schedule?
Wait,
or soon?
They're releasing multiple seasons in the same year?
I know, right? It's crazy. And you know what? Season 4 was good.
Damn.
I'll tell you that. Season 4 was pretty good.
Tyler, I forget, were you watching it, you and Leslie, or were you just watching it?
I was just watching it, but I was getting Leslie to watch it. Like I was watching it with her sometimes, but yeah, no, I've been watching it on my own for a while now.
Okay.
Yeah, September 9th. So after you download that Temtem, go check out season 5 of Cobra Kai.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I like that show. It's like I didn't think I would like it. I kind of watched on a whim, and I think I mentioned this before. I probably have, but I actually I think this is a show I wanted to bring up, unless I did, Aiden, during our little interview with Artie, but like because I was talking about how like Netflix has the ability to take things that I don't like and turn them into something that I could probably like. And I brought up like League of Legends Arcane, and like I probably didn't bring this up, but I should have. Like Cobra Kai, like I don't like Karate Kid at all. Like I don't give a shit. But I started watching this show, and I'm like, damn,
I like
I really
this.
like this show. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I like this show.
I mean, I was very aggressive with Netflix during that conversation, but like it really does come down to the showrunners.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and like the Resident Evil showrunners sucked ass, obviously, and
Facts.
you know, Cobra
Facts.
Kai, not a bad show.
Showrunners.
Yeah, showrunners. We all know how those can be, right, guys?
Haha.
Game of Thrones, eh?
Let's not go there.
Let's not.
Why not? It's literally every person. I'm not going to keep going on with this, but like this is my one thought. Every time I get into a conversation about Game of Thrones, it spirals. Like everybody gets mad.
Mm.
Like,
I
damn,
wonder
this
why.
show's been over for years and people are still mega salty.
The song will never end. Like this thing was a
Oh,
cultural
see?
phenomenon, and
See?
we as a
See?
society went off a
See,
cliff.
listeners, you're listening to this in real time.
I'm
Wait,
explaining why your observation is true by proving your observation.
I'm proving my observation. Yeah, we could
It's
spend a whole
important.
nother fucking 100 years talking about it, but instead we're gonna talk about something that people actually care more about, and that's Modern Warfare 2 coming out. And no,
Lasting cultural impact in Game of
N-
Thrones.
not the original Modern Warfare 2 like Freeman thought it was, because he's not a normie. Okay, we're talking about the remake. The fuck. What is the saying? Like it's not the release.
It's the sequel of the reboot.
Yeah. Sequel of the reboot.
I don't know. Well, because technically it wasn't like
It is a
wasn't like a
reboot.
remake. It's literally an entire alternate universe.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Is the Resident Evil 3 remake a sequel to the Resident Evil 2 remake, or is it a remake of Resident Evil 3, which is a sequel to the original Resident Evil 2?
See. I see where you're getting at here. No, it's it's literally it's the same fucking shit. It literally is though. Like
It's
there's nothing.
it's the reboot of the original, but also the sequel to the original reboot.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry, I didn't really understand.
Bro, it's about as close as I can get. It's fucking
That is
stupid. And like
basically it.
I don't know. Maybe they could have just not done stupid naming conventions, but you know, this is
You know what?
this is the world we
Who
live in, so here
cares?
we are. That's
We
fine.
could
Who
literally
cares?
just call it Call of Duty, and no one would care.
True.
No,
I mean,
no,
honestly,
no. Yeah, no, people would care. It depends. Because I'll tell you what, when Modern Warfare was over and they had Black Ops, the new Black Ops, and Vanguard, I was like, miss me with this shit.
I mean, yeah, but I think that they could probably get away with rebranding their games as just a continuous live service and just
Yes.
call themselves Call of Duty. Because then it's
Call of
like,
Duty
oh hey,
current
every
battle.
season, guys, is a new era of warfare. Ba-da-da. Fucking, oh, we're so incredible, whatever. Fucking Activision shit. But like,
Yeah,
I
then
feel
we
like
get
that
dumb
would
shit
probably
like,
be a completely reasonable model for them to take.
I don't know. That said, we
Yeah.
are now in the Overwatch 2 era, so
Well, yeah,
Overwatch what?
sure.
Overwatch 1.5?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
Overwatch 1.2 final mix.
Yeah, like listen, no one cares about Overwatch except for maybe you and Luigi. I honestly didn't think Luigi still played Overwatch anymore.
yeah. I mean, I said it before on the podcast that I was looking forward to for the PvE stuff. So like the PvP launch coming up this year, honestly, zero interest for me. I'm
Yep.
still sitting here waiting for the PvE stuff next year. So
I would be very
I think-
happy to play the PvE stuff with you guys next year.
Damn, because
Yeah,
I wasn't even
well-
looking forward to playing that shit at all.
I mean, we all technically already own the game, so like, there's nothing stopping us from going and doing this.
True.
I keep looking at it, and the more I look at Overwatch, the less I want to play Overwatch.
Damn.
I was like, I've
And-
already
And
played
I
it
don't
so
know why,
much.
because I definitely had fun when the game came out. I loved
Yeah,
playing Overwatch, but then I don't know if it just maybe it's because they didn't do anything with it really. Like how many new characters did they add? Like
Not-
5
Yeah,
No,
not
over
it's
the
like
course of fucking
closer to 10,
years?
but like we're
yeah.
still
They
at the
had
point like it's been a long time since this game came out, and it's largely the same game. Like I know when we were kids, like I played Counter Strike days on end, but like I'm at the point where it's like there's a lot of new games and there's new innovation. As much as I love Overwatch, like I've kind of played enough.
Yeah, there's nothing really drawing me back to keep playing it.
Yeah, like, it's not that
Unlike
bad.
Modern Warfare 2, where there's just new guns, honestly. I'm really hoping that they fix fucking Warzone
Oh, okay.
this time
Yeah.
around.
They
Yeah, I
added
wonder-
way more new characters than I thought. Yeah, it's around about 10.
I wonder if that airport level is going to be in Modern Warfare 2.
It is.
Oh, good.
Yo, I
Yeah,
think all the
Terminal
bangers
and High Rise are like the only fucking do whatever else you want, but Terminal and High Rise have to be in
I
there.
don't remember
In-
High Rise. I remember
intervention-
Terminal though.
You don't remember High Rise?
Intervention on
I-
High
I
Rise,
probably-
bro?
no, no, no,
Intervention
no,
on
no, no,
High
no, no,
Rise,
no,
dude.
no, no.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I bet I remember it
What?
as soon as I see the map. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh, I remember this map.
Terminal's loading
Yeah.
screen with the fucking airplane right in the front.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
there's
High Rise.
Terminal.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
the top
I
of
was
the
gonna say-
building. Yeah.
It's one of those maps you'd recognize.
Tyler, I played so much. I probably would recognize any one of these maps. I just don't remember the names off the top of my head. I
you
remember
didn't even
Rust.
play multiplayer though, bro.
Yes, I played What?
Did you play multiplayer?
Absolutely, I did.
I thought you just played the co-op like T-Hunt.
I
like-
loved playing that with Kevin, but I played Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and then Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer is where I really is the most I played. But I
Ah,
played plenty of Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer.
so you playing Modern Warfare 2 with us? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Spending $60 on this game I already
do
played
I
like
want
10
to
years
spend
ago.
$70?
You mean $70?
$70?
Fuck, I
$70.
forgot. Gaming's expensive now.
I have a
Yeah, 70.
Mort gauge, whatever that is. So
So I don't know what a mort gauge is, but I know what a
Gauge,
video
I got
game
the
is.
mort
I
Right?
know what a video game is.
It's Morton time.
It's Morton time.
God, I hate that meme. I didn't even see that
I
movie,
love
and I
it
don't.
so much. It's gonna.
So many people didn't see that movie and make the
I
meme.
can't-
That's why it's funny.
I can't watch the movie because it'd be more disappointing than just seeing memes about it.
It's actually
For
hysterical.
the uninitiated, we're talking about Morbius. That's what
Actually, if you didn't initially stay that way,
For the
Yeah.
uninitiated,
for
stay
your own
uninitiated.
mental health.
Especially the
Yeah.
uninitiated. I wasn't initiated to Netflix. They make games.
Oh yeah, I saw this article
So who else
too.
saw this on Reddit? Because that's where I saw this headline.
I didn't see this on Reddit.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
not
the link,
gonna
but
lie.
I was reading about it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I
So-
was scrolling through shit and I saw blah 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 Netflix. You know, less than 1% of its subscribers are playing their video games. I'm like, they make games?
That's what I thought too. I immediately went on their website and couldn't find it, and found that it's a mobile only thing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so I saw when it so I remember opening the app a couple times and being like, "Oh shit, this is weird," and then I literally never played a single one of them ever.
Why don't I go on right now? I didn't like think about it because I was like, I'm too lazy to go on my phone. I'm like, wait a minute, I do have Netflix on my phone
It's
because they have one. They said they had one game. Uncharted is on here already. Too bad, still not gonna make me watch it.
I was gonna say the Uncharted movie is on Netflix now. I just saw that the other day.
I still refuse to watch it.
Really?
What I am interested in is the Sandman though.
You know what movie that's worth
Yeah, I'm
watching
hearing
for
buzz about
anybody that's on Netflix now is Hunt for October is back on Netflix. So
Oh shit,
really?
bro! Let's go.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Let's go.
it's not just a
Yo.
good movie.
Quick random tangent. Did y'all know that Mewtwo Strikes Back was on Netflix? A
Nope.
remake?
Don't believe you. Not real.
Remake.
Oh, yeah. So there's another Mewtwo Strikes Back, not the Pokemon the first movie.
Yeah. What the fuck, bro?
I think it was right after they introduced Mega Evolutions, and they're like, how do we make Mega Mewtwo X and Y canon?
Oh my fuck.
Like, I don't know if you guys know about this. Another Pokemon rant here. So you know how like Mewtwo was developed in a lab and he's one of a kind? At a certain
Yeah.
point, the Pokemon anime forgot about it, and they
No.
introduced a different Mewtwo who's not the one from the movie, implying that there's multiple Mewtwo's.
No.
Yeah, Pokemon lore is done.
Well,
Yo, what kid didn't cry at that movie? Why are you ruining this? No.
It's so good, dude.
Just because the movie was great in '99 doesn't mean it can't be ruined in 2015.
True.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's 2015 that came out. What the
No,
fuck?
no, no. It was. I think it was older because it was 2013
I was
when X
about
and
to
Y
say,
came
I'm
out.
like, what the
Every
hell?
party needs a pooper. That's what.
Unless you're talking about the CG one they did.
Wait, there's two?
So there's now.
Bro, we're going
Hey,
too deep
excuse
down
me,
this
I'm
rabbit
gonna
hole.
leave now.
The
I don't really
Mewtwo
want to be a
Strikes Back
part of any of
Evolution was
this.
the weird CG one where Ash, like, he looks like Ash, but he also kind of looks like Dustin from a Stranger
All right,
Things.
you know what? Let's move on. I never thought I'd say this, but let's go on to this dumbass Weeb shit. I
The
can't.
Weeb shit? Sure, let's do it.
I can't stand this bullshit.
This is
So,
bullshit.
Let's start with some bullshit you might be able to stand. So the first and foremost, the oldest thing on this list was that Netflix put out the trailer for Cyberpunk Edge Runners,
Oh boy.
the Studio Trigger anime. And the trailer looks pretty promising.
Yo, I completely forgot that this show even existed.
Man, remember when Cyberpunk came out and everyone was so hype, and then a month later, all Cyberpunk things were gone from everyone's mind.
It's very unfortunate. I put this in the same vein as like Shield Hero Season 3 of like announced at the peak of hypeness and now it's come out and everyone's just like, ooh, should I be excited about this franchise?
wish
Nah,
I
I'll be
cared.
excited about this though. It looks really cool.
Yeah, as someone who didn't play Cyberpunk, I'm gonna give it a fair shake.
As someone who bought a copy of Cyberpunk for full price and still needs to use it, I look forward to watching the show.
Yeah, anything Studio Trigger touches, I'm willing to give a shot.
I am not that way anymore.
Studio Trigger, creators of some of the least good Star Wars Visions sketch.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did something air quotes cool, and it was
They made those.
No, I know. I'm just fucking around. I'm trying to.
I'm not fucking around. They made that, and they also made Darling in the Franks. Like, I'm not.
Yo,
Don't
don't talk shit about my show, bro.
I am. But every time we talk about it, you're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Every
that's not the
time.
point. That doesn't
You
mean
and
it's a
Tim.
bad show.
Other Tim, you and Bigwig, every single time, you're like,
Bro,
yeah, you're right.
Stay mad, Tyler. Stay
I
mad.
will stay. I will stay flustered. Okay,
God damn.
No, you do that.
I will.
Fucking degenerate.
I'm gonna play this Netflix game.
No,
Anyway,
you're not.
Well, we're arguing whether
That'll show
Darling in the
us.
Franxx is a good anime or not. Let's talk about what's happening as a follow-up to an actual good anime. So yesterday morning, we get news of a new, and I'm gonna use exactly as announced, ranking of Kings anime. That's it. That was what was announced, and everyone took that to mean literally whatever the fuck they want. Articles have completely conflicting headlines. Some saying season 2 hard confirmed. Others calling it an OVA. Some saying it's a multi-episode OVA because the voice actor for Daida is like multiple episodes and he's the only one who tweets this. So we don't know what this is. Crunchyroll's official
This was
press
really.
release says,
Okay, no, sorry, go ahead.
no, Crunchyroll's official press release just says one special episode to release in 2023. But it sounds like there might be more and they want to slow roll the announcements.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was I literally sent this to Freeman and Val like the other day when this news broke, and I'm like, oh, it's this. This is really cool. Oh, it's this. It's the next season. Oh, wait, no, it's a multi-part OVA. And then Freeman goes, no, I'm reading on Crunchyroll that it's one episode. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't trust Reddit comments. And now it's like, actually, no. Everyone was just getting completely conflicting information for no reason.
I think the real issue is the overuse of the word confirmed. Everyone's saying that it's confirmed because Yuki Kanji's just like multiple episodes and then 5 exclamation marks. And like that can either be taken as he's saying there will be or he wants there to be. But people are tossing around confirmed like it's been hard announced.
Well, if it's on the internet, obviously it's true.
Aiden's got a point here.
You're
Man,
not
it
wrong.
should.
The
If
problem
not,
is
we
it's-
should sue them.
The problem is there's a very true and very ambiguous phrase that's on the internet that just says ranking of Kings anime announced. It was like when the Konosuba anime was announced. We spent a year going, is it a movie? What is it? And they're like, surprise, it's 2 full shows. Like, it could mean literally anything. They just haven't announced it yet.
Oh no, Suba.
Anyway,
Yes. Well, I've noticed that Japan likes to do this. Why do they announce like announcements? Because
Yeah.
Nintendo does the same shit with their tree houses. They're like, yo, there's some stuff. There's some stuff for sure. It's there. What is it? What is it, Nintendo? You're gonna find out. And they all do that. Every single one of them does that.
They do all do this.
So I know at least with a lot of anime, it used to be that you didn't want to give up on announcement hype, so you wanted to announce stuff as close as possible to when it was airing. And I'll allude to it later, but like there's this whole thing about why Chainsaw Man was dead silent for a while, because it was always they wanted to wait until they were getting close to show anything off. And then they kept getting close and it kept getting delayed and they kept having to redo that, like, let's build some very minor excitement because we're not sure if we're allowed to go full excitement right now. That's sort of what they're doing with this, where it's just like trickle as bare minimum information as you can to realize people should still pay attention to a franchise, and then like wait and then announce when you want your big media blitz closer to your release. And I think it's just the Japanese way of announcing stuff.
I think it's kind of dumb.
So what you're saying is it's D-Way.
It's the way.
I don't appreciate it. I think it's kind of
I don't
scummy,
agree
you
with
ask
this.
me. Yeah, I don't
think we're sitting here watching anime. We're all a bunch of Uganda knuckles saying like we know the way, and then Tyler, the Mandalorian, walks in just like this is not the way.
This is not the way.
It's how I feel when we talk about anime announcements in our group chat.
Oh no, for real. Yeah, I think I'm like the actual just outlier every single time.
It's
I don't know if I'm because I'm old man. It's probably because I'm old man yelling at clouds.
It doesn't help that announcements that I put in our group chats are either like hype announcement for a hype show everyone loves or absolute garbage tier bullshit that I'm laughing at, so I'm sending the article anyway. Including the next headline, which is I can't believe it's happening. But my favorite isekai to make fun of the name of, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Reincarnated as a vending machine, now I wander the dungeon. This
all right.
shitty
We're
light
skipping
novel
this. No.
is getting an adaptation. We've reached the peak of dumb shit.
No.
It can't go lower than this.
And I.
You may.
I just. You know. You see things like this. And you wonder why, the world just can't be erased. I'm reading this book right now, right, called Locklands, and the main, like, the BBEG, just, like, wants to just reset the world with, just, like, have the world start from the beginning, except taking out one crucial part, which, like, is the world's magic system. I want to do the same thing, but with anime. Like, just restart the world, just no anime.
Oh my god.
Like, maybe this was a mistake.
You go back in time, you see the caveman drawing, and you're like, no, bad, stop that.
Literally,
you don't know what this will lead to.
They don't know. They didn't know. And guess what? No. I hate this.
All right.
I don't like this. But we can go on a Tower of God season 2.
Yeah, you don't like anime, so we'll talk about more anime. Crunchyroll had Crunchyroll Expo on, I think it was over last weekend, and they were just spamming announcements and acquisitions all day Saturday. This was the dumbest anime news media blitz I've ever seen. Shit was just pouring out 15 minutes apart, new trailers, new shows announced that Crunchyroll was announcing the show for the first time, not even announced in Japan. Including the vending machine anime was announced. But more importantly, we're getting Tower of God Season 2. Now, if you told me last year we were getting Tower of God Season 2, I honestly would have looked kind of shocked at you, because it seemed like Crunchyroll started off really strong on the let's adapt Korean manhwa, and then right after two in a row misses, it seemed like they stopped, and then we got the announcement of Solo Leveling, which is, would many regard as like the most hyped manhwa. So my thought was, okay, well, Crunchyroll's like very upset with their early investments. They want a very clear win here. So to see them announce Tower of God, a show that had a very shaky season 1, was honestly surprising to me. And as one of my friends who's a big manhwa reader, he was immensely excited because he's just like, season 1 is all set up. Like, everyone was praying it was going to be a 24-episode show because everyone knew, like, if you're doing 12, you were going to get through the setup, you were going to get through the reveal why Rachel's not a very nice character scene, and then move on with your lives.
Well, she's not a very nice character.
No, there's a reason the phrase "fuck Rachel" is like the catchphrase of this show.
Fuck Rachel.
But
pour it out for the Rachels in the world.
supposedly going to be better. I personally like I forget what the energy system was actually called in Tower of God, but it seemed cool. Like it had little hints of um the York New City arc in Hunter x Hunter with the way they were explaining how everyone's abilities are different, and then you don't really get to see how everyone's abilities work. Left enough mystery to make it entertaining, and I'm hoping they can, make it cool to see in season 2. Anyway, moving on to some big hyper announcements. So, Chainsaw Man, the show that's been delayed indefinitely because it was originally supposed to air at the same time as Attack on Titan season 2 part 2, I think. Either way, we finally get our full announcement from Crunchyroll. They confirm it's coming out in October, and they drop a whole trailer where for the first time we can hear what the voices sound like for everyone. And as far as I can tell, of the 4 main cast, only one of the girls is voiced by a voice actress who has any semblance of fame prior to this, and she's the voice actor for the current JoJo. So everyone else is a lot of newcomers. So it could be good, it could be bad. Like if we look at how Black Clover turned out, where the voice actor doing Asta had like never done any roles before. Since then, he's become an amazing voice actor. But holy shit, was he awful when he started that? Hopefully not the same thing for Chainsaw Man, but either way, we got October confirmed, which means fall is just stacked as fuck right now. This is going to be a good anime season. And then keep it along with Shonen Jump related announcements. I don't read this series, but my same buddy who's the manhwa fan always is praising Kaiju number 9. That one got an anime announced out of nowhere. It got like one little tidbit of artwork that shows nothing about anything this show or series is about. And I don't care. We'll get it eventually. This is a Shonen Jump franchise, and every anime they've been doing so far has been a pretty like decent budget project. So anything coming out of them is good. Moving along, Mob Psycho 3. I think I'm the only one here who cares about this. Trailer came out. The opening song was previewed. Similar to how they did season 2, 100 days prior to the airing of the season, they started updating their website with new stuff every day. Think like Smash Dojo before Brawl came out. And then they started with the opening, which I think is just called 1, which I was talking to Tim about the naming pattern for these openings. So the first opening was called 99. The second opening was called 99.99. And everyone's like, well, they can't just keep adding numbers on, can they? And they're like, no. We're just going to call it 1. So I haven't seen the opening yet. I'm waiting for that one to come out with episode 1. But I did watch the trailer because I was curious if the animation still holds up. And it looks identical to season 2, which means this is going to be a beautiful, albeit slightly ugly anime, but I'm excited. And we'll just blitz through the last 2 Crunchyroll related announcements. First and foremost, Crunchyroll's buying Right Stuff. For anyone who doesn't know, Right Stuff is like the biggest anime DVD. I don't want to call them the biggest figure distributor in the United States, but they do a lot of anime figures and other collectibles. And Crunchyroll buying them is pretty big because Crunchyroll and Funimation already merged. And prior to this, Funimation, well, I don't know if they still distributed their own stuff. They had the largest DVD production network among the U.S. anime distributors. And now they're owning the biggest, essentially, anime goods warehouse company. So Crunchyroll's network is getting scary big. As part of it, they spun off the part of the website that handles all of the adult material and hentai-related stuff into their own separate website. Because it seems like they really want this squeaky clean family branding. And they did say that they will still carry products released by competing companies. Now, if I was Sentai Filmworks right now, I would get out of every deal possible, Right Stuff, and find a different distributor. Because letting the big boy of the industry be the only person distributing anime merchandise seems kind of weird.
Yeah, just a little bit. A little Monopoly-esque.
Yeah, this is scary times for this orange company.
For this one.
Sorry, say that again, Tyler?
Oh no, I didn't say anything.
No, I was chuckling at this orange company.
Oh, no problem. Sorry, I thought you had murmured something, Tyler. I don't mean to be accusatory. Anyway,
No, it's fine. You know, I should.
Do you want? You can feel free to shut
I got nothing.
Like we're all.
Just
Anyway,
Tyler doesn't watch anime anymore.
I watched Crunchyroll. I watched an episode of To Your Eternity today.
Yeah,
Good.
because you
Keep
were
up that
already
trend.
hooked, and you're tired of waiting for Leslie.
True. This is
season 2 isn't tired of waiting for you.
Also,
So I'm pretty sure that's also in October. Anyway, last Crunchyroll announcement. They announced they're getting a bunch of random movies, including oldies but goodies like Akira, They're getting some Ghibli movies. They're getting this new one, Josie the Tiger and the Fish, which I wanted to see, but it wasn't available for streaming anywhere. And then the biggest shocker on the list is that, surprise, surprise, the day the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero Blu-ray drops in Japan, we're getting it for streaming on Crunchyroll.
You know, Freeman, is this one of the ones where you were like, no, we're going to get it earlier. I swear to God, it's not going to wait for the Blu-ray release. Was that, what was the one that we had the bet on of whether or not that was actually
No,
going to happen?
it wasn't. I didn't think. I'm trying to remember what it was because there were three scenarios. One is it comes before the Blu-ray release. It comes exactly on the Blu-ray release, and then the third one, which I think you guys were saying, was that it's going to come out like right before the next season, which doesn't have a date yet. But it turns out we were all way too. Maybe I was the one who was way too optimistic about this. But yeah, it's just like Japan is absolutely so afraid that if you release something for streaming outside of Japan, everyone is going to torrent it in Japan.
Such a
and it's
weird,
it's
random fear.
The same people who were going to torrent it weren't going to buy the Blu-ray on release day anyway.
It's so dumb.
It's
whatever. We're going to no, but the thing I brought up to these guys as the funniest part of the whole movie's announcement from Crunchyroll is like, ooh, this week it's like Netflix's announcements of every week what they're getting. They're like, ooh, first week of August, you get these 2 movies. Then second week of August, these 3 movies. And it was all the way through August. And then there's just September 23rd, the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. And it was the only movie not in August on one of these like 3 or 4 weekends where they're like, this is when it's coming out. And it was just so funny because it's like, how can we pad out an announcement for Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie coming out on our streaming service? Oh, let's just throw in some random other movies that are way less interesting for the overall audience.
Either way, listeners, this is your opportunity to watch this movie. The plot may be whatever. It's a prequel to Jujutsu Kaisen, but the animation and the fights were great, and I think it's worth watching just for that stuff alone. So, give that a shot.
I can't wait to finally see this movie 2 years after it came out.
It came out... When did this actually hit U.S. theaters? Because I feel like it was this year.
Wasn't it Christmas wasn't it over the winter? Wasn't it like Christmas?
Yeah,
I thought it was in theaters in the U.S.
No, remember I wanted to see it, and then Freeman was the only one who was interested, and then Freeman went with other people to see it.
Oh, that's right. When he ditched you, I
Yes,
forgot.
correct.
Bro. I forgot.
Sorry.
Don't
it was
worry,
in March
some of us
it was
didn't
in March
forget.
of this year.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Except I offered to go see it again, and then I was told no. Don't pin this on me.
Freeman, I'm just fucking around. I wanted to see it, but I also wanted Val to want to see it, and everyone else was like, no, I don't really want to see Jujutsu Kaisen Zero.
Well, I'm down to rewatch it, so if you want to watch it together when it comes out on streaming,
Sure.
let me know.
Happily, I would definitely watch it finally.
All right, and then let me get to the last one real quick. So this was a surprise announcement today. Studio Trigger, having clearly finished Cyberpunk Edge Runners and is just waiting for Netflix to finish dubbing it so they can do their simul release of all episodes at the same time. Trigger's announced the next series they're going to work on. This one is called Delicious in Dungeon. I didn't know about this franchise, and I read through the synopsis, and it straight up sounds like if you took Made in Abyss and got rid of anything scary about it, and then you took Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon and got rid of the part where you pick up girls and just kind of mashed them together and said, what if this was a cooking show? And the plot is this kingdom just falls into a pit in the ground and adventurers start exploring the ruins. And one adventurer goes and he goes to rescue his friend, and while they're down there, they're starving. So they kill a monster, and one of the guys tries to cook it until they run into a dwarf who's like, hey, there's a better way to cook that monster. And so it seems like this whole thing is about just dungeon diving and cooking. And it's by Studio Trigger. So, I mean, I'm excited. I have nothing else to work on other than this butchered description. But I'm happy about it. But that's it for the Weeb shit. Let's move on.
Yay! What did we all do in the past few weeks?
All right, so I guess I'll go first. I got 2 video games to talk about real quick. So, first and foremost, I beat, except for the very last hunt, I beat the base game for Monster Hunter Rise.
Wow.
So the last mission I think requires you to get to like Hunter rank 100, and I was at like Hunter rank 62 and didn't feel like grinding anymore, given that I knew I was going to buy Sunbreak. So I called it quits. I'm putting a pause here. Monster Hunter Rise, all in all, very fun game. I don't know if I like it more than World. But it's not like, man, Rise is bad because World is better. These are both great games, and I think jumping into either one offers a pretty comparable first experience for Monster Hunter.
Yeah. The movement of Rise is quite fun though.
Oh yes. I didn't think about it, but the more I realized in World, like chasing down a monster when they're running away sucked because they will like always outrun you. In Rise, being able to just hop on your dog and chase it down is you're never that far behind the monster. Like these breaks are not
Yeah.
that long. Um, all in all, it's been pretty fun. I gotta say, I'm having a lot more connectivity issues using Rise than when I was with World. It might
Yeah.
just be me.
No, I've had that problem as well. I don't know if it's just like the servers that they have for Rise or what, but I've also had a bunch of connectivity issues.
All right, glad that I'm not alone on that. Either way, I bought Sunbreak. I went through the first mission yesterday, and I got robbed because I was like, you know what? Let me join multiplayer for this first hunt, and I joined, and not even a split second after loading in, the mission completed. So I'm already robbed of the intro to this game, but I am planning on getting through Sunbreak in the next coming weeks. I am debating on putting a pause on it because I realize I've spent enough time away from Witcher 3 that I can just sit down with this guide for that one level I'm stuck on and just power through another section. And I think I might do that so that way I don't burn out on Monster Hunter from just blitzing through the original campaign. So, or report back next week with some progress. The other thing I did this weekend because I was pretty ill this weekend. I couldn't really play any multiplayer games. So I was like, what can I do that's single player? I don't want to start a new game. And at first I was like, let me do Witcher. And then I realized Live Alive came out for Switch. For anyone who doesn't know, this was a Square Enix Super Nintendo JRPG they put out. I think it was just the game they did before Chrono Trigger was this game. It never came out in the US. The only way to play it was like the way Tyler's playing Psychonauts right now. Go find someone to translate it online and then just play the ROM. But
Basically.
the team that did Octopath Traveler and Project Triangle Strategy remade Live Alive using that engine, and the demo is out for free on Switch. So the way the game works is there's 7 characters. They're all in different timelines, and apparently there's different stories are loosely connected. I don't know, but the demo lets you play as 3 of them and do the openings to their story. So I did one of them to kind of get a feel for it, and this like it feels like I'm playing a Super Nintendo JRPG, even though it looks a lot nicer. And I was having fun with it. My only problem is this game has voice acting, and it's not that it's bad voice acting, but like it's not great voice acting. I almost wish it was a text only JRPG. So
Hmm.
if I were to buy the full version, I'd check to see if there is a turn off voices option because it's just like it's almost taking me out of the game. I just wish I was playing on Super Nintendo to be perfectly honest here. But the demo was fun. It didn't sell me as much as I was hoping it would. I'm not actually going to purchase this game at this moment. Maybe
Wow.
if I can find it on sale, because it is a full price game right now. Um, like it seems like it's fun, but it's not the most gripping, entertaining thing. So I'm not going to touch this quite yet. But I think it's worth looking into. If any listeners, if any of you like the Octopath Traveler, you like this aesthetic, at least give the demo a shot and then decide if you want to play it. Because the demo has 3 different stories, and all the gameplay models are slightly different between characters. So like you might like one, you might not like it. I don't know. Give it a shot.
Does it seem like they're doing the thing again where it's like, yeah, there's 8 characters, but none of them are going to acknowledge the existence of the rest of them?
So hold on. Yes, but that's the point of this game. Like
Ah,
what
okay. So they've changed the narrative such that they don't have to have them
Well, hold on. I
interact.
want to. This game came out in the '90s for Super Nintendo. Like, there's the first level I did is in ancient China. The next one is in the Wild Wild West. Like, these are characters who are separated immensely. And as far as I can tell, it's not until the end of some of their stories you start to see what the connection in like the main plot actually is. But they're
Okay.
meant to be like completely separated characters,
All right. Cool.
as opposed to Octopath, where they're not supposed to be completely separated characters, but for some reason they are, despite being in a group at all times. All right, that rant's over. Tim, do you want to take point on top of the next one?
I mean, this was just funny. So in the past few weeks, Mother's Basement and Giga both put out their here's the anime of the season shows, and one that caught mine and Val's eye when we were and actually Friedman, because we watched the Mother's Basement video with you, was this weird looking isekai called oh god, it's
Isekai
the
Oji-san.
Isekai Oji-san, aka my uncle was reborn in another world or whatever. I don't know.
No, the title's Uncle from Another World.
Uncle from another world. And when I heard this title, I was like, this is fucking stupid. The premise is, hey, this guy's got an uncle who was in a coma for 17 years, and he wakes up and goes, hey, I was actually isekai'd for those 17 years. I can do magic now. And the first thing they do is start a YouTube channel of the uncle using magic spells. So me, Freeman, and Val watched the first episode of this the other day, and then we showed it again to Tyler and Luigi on Sunday. And I haven't really felt a huge draw to watch more of the show yet. It didn't really hook me story-wise.
I'm waiting to watch episode 2.
I mean, I'm down to watch it, absolutely, but I'm not like, wow, I'm jonesing for it yet. But the concept is just funny, and it seems like the uncle is like the densest idiot ever. They keep cutting to like him in the isekai, and there's this woman who's clearly after him, and he just blows her off. It's like extra thick, extra thick brain over here. Extra smooth brain, I mean.
Smooth
Yeah,
brain.
I don't know if the extra thick is the descriptor you
Yeah,
want to
I
use.
don't know. Extra smooth brain. I'm tired. My brain's smooth.
Same.
Damn, wow.
What do you want me to what?
But man, when he wakes up and immediately goes, how's Sega doing in the console wars? And the kid and his nephew's like, dude, Sega dropped out of the console wars forever. And then for the rest of the episode, he keeps making jokes about like, only a Sega fanboy would understand what I'm going through right now. It's like, this is the stupidest fucking thing, but it's
Love
such a hilariously dumb set of jokes.
I'm just overall enjoying what they're doing. Like we're the fact that I had to bring up that we're getting the vending machine isekai shows that we reached the point where it's too much. No one's being creative with it, and I think this is a fun twist on the whole. This isn't an isekai story. This is a story about making fun of a dude who was in an isekai story
And did a really bad job. Like in the first episode, there's a bit where he saves a woman and her two brothers from a monster, but the way he plays it off, he must have acted even more threatening because the woman acts like she's giving herself over to him to save the lives of her brothers, who then the nephew realizes off camera attacked the uncle and chased him off to save their sister's life. And it's like, this is just it's
Right,
really funny humor. It's watch a guy do an isekai like with zero intelligence who still manages to do well.
But I'm just more enamored in the idea that it's making fun of the isekai premise more than trying to just like wow you with the same generic plot structure that these would normally have.
Yeah.
It certainly hit different. It's I think isekais have obviously been super overplayed fucking lately, for sure. And I think I'll watch episode 2
Wait.
for sure.
Oh right,
What?
were you on to watch it on Sunday?
Yeah, I
Oh,
watched
he
it
was
there. I
there.
was there.
No,
What?
no,
He was
I
there.
forgot when you got online, if it was before or after.
It's all
we
right,
watched it.
Aiden. Pepperidge Farm was
No.
there.
I knew Aiden was on Sunday when we were hanging out. I genuinely didn't remember that Aiden was there for the episode. That's my bad.
Yes, I was there. But yeah, it was a good show. Definitely worth. I'll give it the old college try. We'll see how episode 2 and 3 go.
Oh yeah.
I will probably not.
Well,
Understandable.
that's because
Just wanted
you
to see
hate
if you'd
everything.
find
Tyler.
episode 1 funny or not.
No. Maybe yes. Yes, maybe yeah. No,
Yeah.
I do hate everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
it's just being
I'm
real.
just tired of isekais. I think I already went in like half cocked, like not like it's like oh it's Uncle from Another World. I'm like oh here we fucking go again. Like at least it's a different concept, and I was like nah, I'm not feeling it.
Understandable. Not gonna force you to watch this.
Yeah, no, I wanted Tyler. After we watched the episode, I was like, Tyler will at least appreciate the Sega jokes and the fact that there's literally a clip of Sonic 2 in.
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
that was great. That is great. I thought that was hilarious.
Segawa.
Sega. Literal shot from Sonic 2. I was like, whoa. I wasn't ready for this.
He's like, I remember my first love, and he just cuts to hit this little boy of the uncle watching the Sega 2, the Sonic 2 title
this
screen.
actual loser. Oh my
See,
god.
this is the difference between Sega and Nintendo. Nintendo won't let you put anything related to their content on the internet without their express permission. Sega hears about your manga making fun of them and says, "Yo, let's fund the anime for
Yo,
this."
We'll happily let you make fun of us for real, though.
Just let us be on the production meeting, slap our name in the credits, and we'll give you the Sonic footage to use.
Anyway,
So moving on. Speaking of forcing people to watch anime, I'm forced myself to watch Fruits Basket the final. I had seen the first 2 seasons of the remake. I had paused when the final came out just because Fruits Basket has a tendency to do this thing where it's like the main character's on screen and she finds out about someone's trauma and starts crying, and that's like the plot of the episode. And they'll do that for 5 episodes. And then they'll have an episode where she's not there. And a side character gets a chance to shine. And at this point, Fruits Basket is fucking phenomenal. The side characters are the whole reason to watch this otherwise whatever show. And then they bring back the main character, and it's awful. And they ended season 2. It's 2 or 3. They ended the last season with her deep in a conversation about why the villain isn't really the villain, and why they should really they're really misunderstood, and you should sympathize with the villain. And at first I was like, all right, maybe. And then I've gone through several shows in a row where the ending is just like, no, please sympathize with the villain.
Oh my god.
And it's like I'm annoyed about this. So I jump back into Fruits Basket, which finished airing a year ago. And the first 3 episodes do everything in their power to show the villain being a massive sack of shit, and everyone else around them saying like, you don't understand them. And it's like, no, I do understand them. In fact, as the viewer, I understand them better than you, the character. So
yeah, and I
please
truly
stop
understand how
lecturing me.
shitty they are.
And they're really trying to some way set up for this Akito redemption arc, and I'm not having it. The villain should get their just desserts and lose. Like, not every villain needs redeeming, and I'm starting to get annoyed at shows that are doing this. Like, sometimes the villain is the villain and should just lose.
or win, but
No.
shouldn't be. No, you don't want the villain to win at all.
Okay, actually, no. It depends on how likable the villain is.
True. No, I get what you're saying. I think redemption arcs are kind of fucking overplayed, if you ask me. Like I don't need any more. And you see it happen in anime a lot. Like how many times where the villain becomes like the protagonist's best friend afterward.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
that's a very common theme.
I've been joking with Val because I was watching Bleach with her lately, but it's like for listeners, for anyone who watched the Arankar arc, any time from that point in Bleach, like around episode 200, if a character is about to lose, you know for a fact we're gonna get a flashback to explain why
Yup.
why that antagonist dying is actually really really sad. Like it started with Renji. He gets beaten up, and then while he's bleeding out, he tells Ichigo's life story, and it was real sad. And the author's like, "Yo, that had impact. Let me do that every other time." So now every side gag throwaway villain, the second they die, it's like let's just flash back to why they're actually a good person. And I'm seeing this too much. Villains need to be evil and either win or lose. We can't have it both ways.
Can't.
All right, I'm done ranting about Fruits Basket and villains in general.
Fucking Fruits Basket.
Adam,
We're gonna talk about
tell me your favorite video game in the Citadel.
a real man's game. Real man's anime. It just came. It's just I'm talking about Mass Effect 3. Took me a long ass time. I finally beat it.
Nice.
So that means I beat the whole trilogy.
Is this your-
And this time I went through and did all of the DLC, which I didn't do the first time.
Most
okay, I
important
was going to ask
question,
if you'd beaten
Tyler.
it one.
Oh, well.
Oh, sorry.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Freeman.
Tom.
You can ask your question first.
I was going to ask you if you had beaten it all the way through when it came out, and this is you just replaying it, or if you hadn't beat some of them.
So no, I did beat. So the only one in the trilogy I never finished was Mass Effect 1.
Because you were a
But
PlayStation owner.
no, I actually had everything. I had an Xbox. But I think I remember playing it up to a certain point, and then I was like, this game is ass. And I never picked it up again. And then my good buddy of mine, he's like, you need to play Mass Effect 2. And I'm like, man, I don't want to play this. Like, I didn't like the first one. He's like, no, it's much different than the first one. It's better. So I'm like, fine. So I played Mass Effect 2. I'm like, yo, this shit is a certified hood classic, actually. As the kids say, no cap.
Good lord.
Yep, as the kids say.
As the kids say. But yeah, I played that, and then I didn't beat any of I didn't have the DLC for that, and I beat Mass Effect 3 when it first came out. Didn't beat the DLC for that. So, and it'd been on my list for a while, and then the Legendary Edition came out last year, and I was like, well, I literally have no excuse anymore to not play these games. Especially after they redid like Mass Effect 1 to play like 3. I was like, well, now I definitely don't have a reason.
That's the reason I still want to play the Legendary Edition, just to do that.
Dude, it's worth it.
I know.
Especially with the mods. Because I think I told you the Mako missions were fucking awful. And then once I put on the speed mod, it was so much more bearable. Like, I mean, it still sucked, don't get me wrong, but like at least I got through the shitty parts faster, you know what I'm saying?
So Tyler, the question I
Uh,
wanted to ask you is, now that you've finally
Yeah.
beaten the whole trilogy years later, with all the DLC and everything, is 3 as bad as everyone said it was at the beginning? I should say everyone else said, because I have never thought that Mass Effect 3 was nearly as bad as a lot of people made it out to be.
No. I also agree with that. I don't think it was ever as bad as what people made it out to be.
2 is still the
I
best
think
game. No argument here. But
yeah.
3
No,
is
I
not
agree.
nearly the disaster that everyone made it out to be because of the ending.
No, I think as I was saying, I think where everybody was really like negative, I think just the ending left a bad taste in their mouths. Like, so I beat it with Aiden actually. Aiden was on when I beat it at like 2 o'clock in the morning because like I told myself that night I'm not leaving this chair until I beat this game. Uh, well, it took a long time, so you know, fuck me, I guess. But we got to the end and we're like, man, this ending does kind of suck. Like, we're just like, damn, like, and we saw like, cause it correct me if I'm wrong, right, Tim? Because I think they even said it, right? Wait, Freeman, are you planning on beating this game?
I don't mind spoilers. Go for it.
So
I
at
still
the
haven't beaten
end,
2.
right? I took the destroy ending, right?
Okay.
Where you ace all the Reapers.
Okay.
But in doing so, you kill all synthetic life too, because you know, fuck robots,
Okay.
right? Now, I mean, no matter what, right? The Mass Effects blow up.
Yes.
So like, no one can literally get to each other now
Forever.
for literally ever.
Like, no one's ever. That's the thing that I dislike the most about the endings. Period. Is that literally forever the series? Like, that's it.
That's okay. I was like, because I'm like, Aiden and I are sitting here scratching our heads, like, nothing about this sounds very positive. Like, in some cases, like, depending on where the Normandy ended up, they could technically be on an uninhabited like
Yo, you know
system
what? You
planet.
know what bugs the shit out of me, Tyler? Is my ending that I chose the first time was the merge life ending.
Uh-huh.
Like that everyone becomes a synthetic thing, basically.
Yeah,
And
synthetic, but
even
yeah.
then, it's like, oh, the relay's overloaded from the energy of making everyone the same type of life form in the galaxy. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is stupid.
Yeah,
Like, that's the thing that bugs me about the endings, but the whole, like, it comes down to a binary choice thing, like, that's kind of how, like, really? Is that really that different from a lot of other things? A lot of other
a lot of other
RPGs?
games.
Yeah, like,
No, this is where I argue no, because that's not how Mass Effect 2 is at all, and that's not how the rest of Mass Effect 3 is either. Like there are a lot of like storylines that are heavily dependent on what you chose in the previous games.
yeah, that's fair.
And like I've talked about this with Michelle a lot because I'm like, you know, I could sit here and say it's hard, and I could, and the problem is I think it is the blatant like uh plot holes that happen, like the Mass Effects getting blown up. It's like at that point, like it's just all kind of stupid. Like why are the Mass Effects blowing up, right? Like I don't think there was ever really a good reason. Also, I don't think there's a good reason why Shepard dies, or if you get that special ending, he gets the gasp, right? So like he could be alive also, but like I feel like it's just kind of dumb. Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. There is like the good ending mod apparently, but like that's not canon obviously, so like I kind of feel weird about it. But like I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. And there's no like real binary choice either. I want to make a good callback because we've all played this part in Witcher 3, the whole Lubberkin mission. Like that's not a binary choice. I mean it kind of is, but like you're up to like wondering like, "Oh, did I do the right thing or not?" And you don't really find out until the end, and then it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it, I argue that like they really could have handled it in a much better way, especially given like this series, like this trilogy, uh, makes a very good point of like letting you know what you did was either a good thing or a bad thing or a middle of the road thing. Right? It's like the Rachni, for example. Like, oh yeah, like you can let them go, and the race is like actually pretty chill, except for the third game when they get controlled and you have to kill them anyway. And it's like, damn, that kind of sucks. Like you did the right thing, quote right thing, but was it the right thing?
Can't you free them?
In 3,
Yeah.
like, can you free them in 3?
I
I
thought there was
thought
an
they
ending with
just.
the Rachni shit where it's like, oh, they got mind control, but
Oh
you
wait,
can
no,
free
I
them
did.
again.
Yeah, I did.
They're
No,
like,
never mind.
damn, I
You
can't believe we got
do that.
mind controlled again. That's crazy.
Again, yeah. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I can't remember. I thought I killed him. Maybe I did kill him. Honestly, I can't
You
remember
can.
now. But fuck these bugs anyway, you know. But yeah, like that's just my point. What I don't like about Mass Effect though is like the heavy want to like, okay, you like if you want the really good stuff or the really bad stuff, you got to go either way, and it's like that's kind of dumb. Like the Paragon Renegade, like if you don't have certain Renegade, like I get like not having those options, but I'm like, damn, like in some situations, like the whole um like Aiden, you were there when I did this, when we're on Tally's homeworld and they're fighting the Geth.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you literally can't do it. You can't save both unless like you're super renegade or super paragon.
And you did shit in like the first and second game.
Oh yeah, that part I'm fine with.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You can do literally everything right except have the enough reputation at that point to make a decision. And you could still fuck it up because you don't have enough reputation. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's my problem with the games like thing. But I will say this. This is my final thought. The Mass Effect Legendary Edition is worth it. The game and the story has definitely held up this entire time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my overall consensus. It's really good. If y'all love sci-fi,
I really
just
hope to play it in the semi-near future. I would love to finally get the chance to start playing through those games again.
yeah, you should
Got
It's
to
a
paint some
banger.
walls first.
paint some walls first.
I just want to be in my office.
All right, what's this? Why are we caroling? It's only July, or sorry, oh god, it's not July, it's August. Oh my god, it's August 9th already.
It's basically Christmas already. Time to talk
Oh
about
my
Carol and
god.
Tuesday.
Jesus fuck.
So,
After
For
years
listeners-
of watching, Freeman and
Yeah, it's-
Val finally
hold on.
finished.
we haven't been watching it that long. It only took us 4 months
It's
to get
no
through this
Trigon,
show.
I know.
Yeah, Trigon was a saga, but Tim had already seen it, but Val and I hadn't watched Carol and Tuesday, so we were watching that as our stay late after D&D gang show. And
Yeah,
we
it's
finally got through it.
it's the show that I spent like I did spend like over a year being like, guys, please, I promise it's good. I really like this show. Please watch this show, guys.
Look, the same way that I meme about Fate and Limited Blade Works, Tim was completely serious about Carol and Tuesday. So we eventually got around to it. I loved it because I'm always looking for that anime that does something that other animes don't do. And for the longest time, it was be a musical. And Carol and Tuesday is like the closest I've seen an anime get to a musical. And it pulled it off very well. I very much enjoyed the show. The only problem I had with it was that The ending wrapped everything up a little bit like too neatly.
Yeah, it's a little rushed.
The last 3 episodes needed way more time to breathe and figure out what they were doing. Like everything involving Tao at the end of that show was just,
Yeah, it's like
why is this happening?
Like the whole thing where he comes into Angela's room and he's like, "Hey, by the way, designer
we're
babies
both
exist."
we're
And
both
it's
genetic
like,
designer
oh, okay,
babies.
cool.
See ya. Yeah, some of these scenes, it's just like, why do they exist? But overall, it was a positive experience. I think this is a show that normies will be able to appreciate, especially dubbed. It really helps that the music is entirely in English. So even if it is dubbed, you still are going to get the same songs in that version. And they were all great. It's the closest we'll get to the American Idol anime edition, even if that's not the entire premise of the show, and I thought it was this whole time. Um, Overall, good. I give it an 8 out of 10. Very solid. You like music? Watch this show.
Yeah, I listen to this soundtrack still. You know, it's been over a year, probably a year and a half at least since I watched this show. I still listen to the soundtrack regularly on Spotify. I'll just throw it on. A bunch of the songs are okay, but there's a few really standout tracks for me in this show that I really enjoy. And I like the kind of motif of basically every episode is like the song of an album.
That's neat.
Yeah, I really like how they because I told Freeman and Val, at the end of the show, they're like, oh shit, Carol and Tuesday got their album put together and they're ready to release their album for the world. And then this show cuts and it's like, bye. And the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? Where's the album? I want more music. And then it's like, oh, the show was the album.
The
Duh.
album.
The original soundtrack.
Yeah, but
Wait,
it's
Friedman.
really good.
Did you end up watching Kids on the Slope?
Yes. I saw it when it was airing.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was you were asking if we thought it was good or if you recommended it to Val and I.
I'd originally it was on Val's recommended list because I was like, this show has zero fan service in it.
Yeah, true. Now I was gonna say the music compared, is it on par with that?
It's so different because like Kids on the Slope is just like great jazz music, whereas like with Carol and Tuesday, like the title characters, Carol and Tuesday, they have their own genre, which is more of this like very, I don't even know how do you describe it. It's almost like it's not even folk music. It's just like this very light piano and acoustic guitar tracks. But there's so many other characters on the show who have songs that if you were to listen to the soundtrack, you'd get whiplash from the genre swaps. Like everything is present on this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this show.
Okay.
Yeah, there are probably select songs from Carol and Tuesday that I like more than anything we heard in Kids on the Slope. But because Kids on the Slope is entirely jazz and has that cohesiveness to it, I probably would say for the Kids on the Slope soundtrack. But there are individual tracks from Carol and Tuesday where like they're certified bangers. They should be listened to.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no, the show is nothing like Kids on the Slope. I wouldn't even compare them, even though they are both music focused shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. What's the next thing?
Let's close it out.
Yeah, so I got the last two things because I don't get to do much these days. But what I did do is I went to a special early screen like 2 days early, of Bullet Train, the new Brad Pitt crazy action movie. I definitely thought it was fun. It's definitely one of those shows that it's definitely one of those movies that it feels like a lot of modern directors, like younger directors, are going for, where every single thing that happens on screen has to pay off somehow. You can't just have not even hanging things, just like unimportant details. It's like, we want to build this crazy story where everything just comes together at the end perfectly.
There has been a lot of that, hasn't there?
Yeah, and it's not bad, and it's definitely, the action is good. The story and everything is told interestingly. There's a lot of cool stylization, like whenever a new character that's important to the plot gets introduced, there's like the big smash cut of big colorful Japanese characters that's translated to English, even though it's an English movie. But because it's taking place in Japan, that's why they do that. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's like a John Wick level thing, but it's definitely a case of like, wow, this is a little stylized, ridiculous, like Yakuza game level of maybe a little over the top in terms of the real world. Like, you pull up to a train station and there's 4 Yakuza guys just with baseball bats and one guy with a machine gun and masks on, and they make a guy get off the train to say something, and then he gets back on the train, like, and that's just, no one else really cares.
So for reference, he did direct Deadpool and Atomic Blonde.
I didn't see Atomic Blonde, but this is a very Deadpool feeling thing. But
Okay.
Deadpool had a lot, like, Ryan Reynolds carried a lot of the humor in that movie. A lot of this is supposed to be like situational humor. It's not as much the characters being funny. It's more like one of the characters is like super into Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's this whole character thing where he calls people like, "Oh, you're a Diesel, you're a Henry, you're a Thomas, you're a whatever," and it's like just a weird quirk kind of thing. But overall, it's good. I think on Letterboxd I gave it 3.5 out of 5. It's definitely fun. I don't know if I'd pay to go see it in theaters, though. This is definitely the kind of movie you could just watch at home when it comes to a streaming service and have plenty of fun with. You don't have to go see it in theaters. Like, the action is good, but there's no like wow moment that I was like, yeah, I'm glad I saw this in theaters.
Gotcha.
I did want to point out, apparently David Litch, the guy who directed all those aforementioned movies, apparently on IMDb, he is credited of being a co-director for John Wick 1.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
That
supposedly.
makes sense. This definitely has a John Wick feel, but there's not a lot of extended action in this movie, I'll say. A lot of the action scenes are good, but pretty short. Whereas John Wick, I mean, Tyler, we were talking about John Wick last time, but like the tunnel sequence and everything is just, it feels like it goes on and it doesn't get boring. Whereas this is very like, it's kind of like John Wick action, but it's very cut. It's the kind of going back to the old formula of like lots of different camera angles,
The
and
big cuts and
Yeah.
or like the quick cuts. Yeah. That is the thing that I feel like I have been spoiled on with like we've talked about like John Wick, and I mean I'm always gonna bring it up, but the Raid, like,
yeah,
instead of getting those fast cuts, we get like, oh, like we get an actual fight scene where the
Yeah.
camera does not cut, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, these are so much better.
yeah,
So it's kind of a shame to see that, but like I see the talent in that, and like a lot of that talent doesn't do their own stuff, so like I'm not
yeah.
really
No,
surprised.
exactly. And then last but not least, I can hear Henry crying, and I need to.
Yeah, we can
Go-
hear him a little bit in the
Oh,
background too.
okay. I don't think it's picking up on the podcast, but yeah, if you guys can hear it. Won't You Be My Neighbor? I had talked quite a while ago about starting this on an airplane, like 2 or 3 years ago, even when I went to the Dominican Republic with Alvin and Ed years ago. It came to Netflix recently, and it's the Mr. Rogers documentary. I loved this. This got a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd from me. I've been really on a documentary kick lately. I also watched, I didn't even put it on the list, but I watched Trainwreck 99, the Woodstock story. The documentary about Woodstock 99 and how much of a fucking disaster it was. That was also pretty good, and I feel like I've just been enjoying watching like a documentary about a real event lately on Netflix. But this was really, I really like this, partially because like on a similar level to Bob Ross, I watched Mr. Rogers as a kid, and honestly, it's one of the things I would show Henry as like a show to put on, is like just put on Mr. Rogers. But this was a really good insight into how he got to the point where he did the show. Things like he tried an adult version of a show basically at one point, came back and did Mr. Rogers. I didn't realize he had done a series of specials for 9/11.
Whoa.
I hadn't even
no clue.
I hadn't even realized that. But that was some of the last stuff he ever did, and that's just wild to think. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the documentary. It's a great look at someone who, to me, is like a really important person in my development, and one of the few like really wholesome TV personalities I could still point to and be like, that's a really just a good person who teaches good values. This is something I would show to my own child. But
yeah, see, something that, that's TV, some rare TV that like holds up.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with its dated appearance, it's like, yeah,
Exactly.
I could totally show this.
And with that, I think we've covered everything. Unless Aiden, you have anything else that was missed or anything like that? Any other stuff?
Unless you want me to complain about configuring Linux distributions, no.
I think
No,
we're
you
okay.
can go touch penguins in your own time.
I'm touching penguins right now.
Damn. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna end it there then. So until next time, thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully, I'll be in an office next time. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
Aiden.
And we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.